about various options that are available in these reports. And during the session, in case if you are having any questions, please feel free to share it in chat panel or questions panel so that we will be able to take it up and we'll be able to either clarify during the session or at the end of the session, we will take up these questions and we'll clarify. I hope the session agenda is clear to everyone now. So in today's session, we will be majorly focusing and discussing on the top MIS reports available in Tallyprime, which you will be able to utilize for extracting the business information. So we will be taking up the accounting related MIS reports. So the first report that I would like to discuss with all of you is about receivables and payable, which we also call it as outstanding in Tallyprime. So obviously most of you who are using Tallyprime or tallyupdate, you will be using receivables and payable report. So in case if you are already using it, further we will take you through further options that are available in outstanding report, which you will be able to utilize as per your business practice. So I hope Tallyprime screen is visible to all of you now. So here what I have done is for the demonstration purpose, I have created a company in which I have recorded few of the transaction with few of the ledgers. So when it comes to receivables and payables, right? So in order to manage that, obviously in the company data, you should be enabling the bill wise. So how do you enable bill wise so that you will be able to track which particular bill is pending and how many invoices are pending for which payment is required to be received, or you are supposed to make the payment to your supplier. So you'll be able to manage this via bill wise feature. So in case if you are creating a new company, by default this will be enabled. In case all these years if you have not used this feature and now onwards if you want to use it, you can simply take the company backup and then you can go to this Alt K company option. So under this we are having this F11 features, right? So you can click on this F11 features. So once you click on this F11 features, it will show you the accounting related features option. So here you will be enabling the enable bill wise entry so that you will be able to manage your payables and receivables. So once you enable this second option, that is enable bill wise entry, now whenever you're creating the party master, you'll get the option whether you want to manage the and track the bill wise for this particular ledger or not. So let me just show you with an example. So here I'm just creating one sample ledger. Sundry data. So you can see here. So since the company level, I have enabled the bill wise feature. So now while creating the party masters, so party masters obviously you'll be either creating under debtors or creditors group, right? So when you're creating under these groups, you'll be getting this option, maintain balances bill by bill. You have to enable this option so that you'll be able to track the pending bills for this particular party and you'll be able to extract the outstanding report. So some of you majorly customers, what they will do is they'll just enable this option and they will not be utilizing the other two options what we have mentioned here. So let me explain the other advanced option which are available here. So you can see here default credit period is given here. So default credit period means what? So what exactly is the credit period that you would like to always allow for this particular party? Either when you're making a sales entry or whatever the credit period allowed by the supplier, right? The same thing you can mention over here. So for example, here I'm going to configure as 5 days. So what will happen? Whenever I'm raising a sales invoice for this party, by default, based on the voucher date, it will apply 5 days as credit period and next date will be shown as due date of the particular bill. So if the credit period allowed for the party is always going to be stable or always it is fixed, the same credit period days you can mention over here. So that is the advantage of this, so that you will be able to avoid mentioning the same credit days again and again in the voucher entry. So if you want to automate the capturing of the due date, you can mention the default credit period information here. Okay, so this is the advantage of this option. So let me navigate to the next option. Next option is check for credit days during the voucher entry. So if you are going to enable this option, what will happen is, for example, you have recorded some 5 invoices for this party, that is Aditi Enterprises. So 5 different sales invoices you have recorded, and out of the 5 invoices, 2 invoices are still pending and the due date is already crossed, right? So during that particular time, and in case if you're going to record a new transaction for the same party, during that particular time, the system will warn you that already the invoices are pending for this party. So if you want to get that alert so that you can take the suitable action at the entry level itself, then you can enable this option. So currently I'm just disabling this option. The next one is specify credit limit. So by mentioning the credit limit, what will happen? So to a certain extent, so for example, if I'm going to mention here as 10,000, right? So if I'm going to mention the credit limit as 10,000, what will happen? More than this, I'll not be able to record the transaction for the credit, right? So either it could be a single invoice or multiple invoices. So more credit bills, I'll not be able to record more than 10,000 total consolidated value. So as I mentioned, it could be single invoice value of 10,000, or there are or you have recorded some 4 invoices which is summing up to 10,000. So both the things the system will restrict. So that is the advantage of specifying the credit limit. So if you are having the business practice that for specific party you will not be allowing more than 10,000 or 20,000 as credit limit while doing the transaction, or while while there are credit sales. So during that particular moment, you can utilize this particular option. So these are the additional options what we have given with respect to the bill wise. So let me know in case if these options are clear to you about the usage. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. So there is a particular question from Ms. Sudha Jain. Sudha is asking how to set credit period payment against purchase invoice or advance and immediate. So, Ms. Sudha, do you want to ask, do you want to say that automatically the payment should be adjusted? Is that the requirement? Or whenever there is a purchase invoice, right? Or there is an advance payment received, you want to knock off that particular advance payment. Is that the requirement? Yeah. So knocking off the advance payment, I'll just show it to you in the transaction flow. So apart from that, I hope rest things are clear to all of you. So I'll just enter and accept it. So you can see here, as soon as I entered this specify credit limit, right? So credit limit, obviously it will be considering for the regular transactions. And in case if you have recorded any post-dated transaction, right? And you do not want to consider those post-dated transaction, then you can set this option as no. Override credit limit using post-dated transactions. So if you want to consider post-dated transactions also for this credit limit calculation, you can enable this option. Otherwise, you can disable this option. Okay. So I'll just enter now and accept it. So when you are managing the bill wise, so here you have the option to enter the opening balance, right? So there are obviously scenarios wherein the party has the invoices for which against he is supposed to make the payment to me, right, of the last financial period. In that scenario, what you can do whenever you create a new company, obviously you can bring in those opening balances here. So this company I just created from 1st Jan. So obviously if it is India, then the company will be starting from 1st of April. So as on the date of company creation, you will be able to enter this opening balance here. So once you enter the total opening balance, which is nothing but pending amount to be received from the party. So once you press enter, so here also you can bifurcate which are the pending bills. The bifurcation you'll be able to enter here of the previous entries, right? But the due date will be 31st December or 31st March based on the company date creation. And here you can mention the bill dates here. Bill name here you will be able to mention. You can mention the due date in case if the entries are recorded as on 31st of March and you're going to have the credit period up to 5th of April or 6th of April. The same date here you will be able to mention. So here I'll mention as 5th Jan. So this bifurcation here you'll be able to give. So in case if there are multiple bills for which you are carrying forward the opening bills, so here accordingly you can mention and you can carry forward the bills. And you can press enter and accept it. So in this way, you'll be able to give the bifurcation of the last or previous year bills that are pending for the party using the bill wise. Right. So I'll be pressing Control A. So once I press Control A, let me navigate you to the outstanding reports. So in order to navigate to any reports, you can simply use this Go To option, or you can go to Display More Reports as well from the gateway of Tally. So I'll simply click on this Go To, and here I'll click on, I'll search for outstanding, or you may search for receivable also. So once I search for outstanding words, so here you can see the related reports will highlight, right? So here I'll click on this ledger outstandings. I'll be selecting the particular party for whom the pending bills extract is required. So once you press enter, so you can see here as per the opening balance bifurcation, whatever we have entered, the bills will get displayed. So it will also display the opening balance bills as well as the current financial period transaction will be displayed over here. Okay, Yogesh is asking a question if advance payment is received and default credit period is mentioned. So if there is an advance payment, obviously you'll be using a different reference while making a receipt voucher. The same advance payment received, you'll be knocking off in your sales invoice. So that transaction flow, I'll show it to you because that was being asked by Ms. Sudha Jain also. Okay, Mohan has a question. If you want to set up different currency for any specific customer, if you want to set up a different currency for any specific customer in the party ledger, you'll be able to do it, Mohan. But in case if you are setting a different currency for different currency, we will not be able to track or extract the ledger outstandings. So you will be setting up the currency in the ledger master so that whenever you are recording any transaction for the party, automatically the same currency will be captured in the voucher, right? So for that reason, we will be selecting that. But by doing that, currently we will not be able to capture that party's bills under the outstanding report that we are yet to support in the product. Okay, Chandrasekhar is asking due dates auto-calculated considering from the master or we need to feed it. You have both the provision, Chandrasekhar. So in case if you are mentioning the credit days, it will capture automatically. You have the flexibility to modify it also during the voucher entry. Am I audible? Okay. Chandrasekhar, I hope your question is clarified. Okay. So Mahesh is asking a question. Is there any option to get the daily outstanding report pop-up while logging in Tally? So currently there is no daily pop-up or the reminders that you want to set in the product, Mr. Mahesh. But these things can be customized. We request you to get in touch with partners so that as per your user requirement or business practice, the partner will be able to do the customization. Okay, so there are other questions which I'll be able to take it up after I show you the transaction experience. So now let me just go to vouchers. So you were asking about the advance payment. Some of you had asked about the advance payment knockoff. So what I will do is I'll be recording a receipt. Okay. So this receipt I'm recording as on 10th of February. So let me just change the period to today's date. For example, I'm just recording this entry as on 5th of September. Here you can select the account as bank or cash through whichever mode you are receiving the amount from the party. And here you can select the ledger, right? So once you enter on the ledger, you'll be getting this bill-wise detail screen across all the transactions wherever you are selecting this particular ledger master to select the appropriate method of bill-wise reference here. So since it is the advance payment that you are receiving, so here you need to select method of adjustment as advance, right? So in case if you are recording just first as a new sales transaction, you'll be selecting new reference. And that particular sales entry, in case if you are recording a receipt entry against that and you want to knock off the bill, in that scenario, you'll be selecting as against reference, right? And fourth option we have is on account. So on account means you are just adjusting as a lump sum amount against the list of invoices. So here invoice to invoice you are not tracking, right? So in that scenario, you'll be selecting on account, but on account is mostly outdated now because most of the businesses do not use it because every business would like to track invoice by invoice how much amount is pending, right? So we highly recommend you to use first three references, advanced, against, and new reference. So now in my scenario, I have received the advance. So what I will do, I'll be selecting here as method of adjustment as advance here. So here I'll be giving the advanced reference, this one. So you can see here now the due date is showing as 5 days, right? So this 5 days means what? So within next 5 days, I have to deliver the goods and also I have to raise the sales invoice. So if this is going to be changed, so you can see here by defaultly as per the ledger master configuration, it will capture here. If you want to modify, you can modify the same. So Tallyprime has the flexibility to edit the due date even though it is fixed. So here I'll be entering the amount. I'll enter and accept it. So in this way, I'll be recording the advance payment voucher. So here I'll enter the narration being advance payment received from the partner. Right. So I'll just enter and accept it. So now what I will do, I'll change the period to 10th of September. And I'll be navigating to F8 sales. So under the F8 sales, now I'm supposed to record a sales invoice, right? So I have delivered the goods. Now I have to issue the invoice to party. So what I will do, I'll be recording a sales invoice by selecting the party account name as Aditi Enterprises. And here I'll select the sales account. So here I'll be selecting the item that is required. So here I'll select the location from where I'm just transferring these goods. So now while accepting this particular voucher, right? So while accepting this voucher, here what you are supposed to do, by default it will be showing as new reference. So now under the bill-wise details, in order to knock off the advance payment, you are supposed to select as against reference here. So once you select the against reference, you can see here the pending bills along with the advance amount will be reflected here. So system will ask you against which particular bill you want to knock off this particular bill. So here what I will do, I'll be selecting the advance reference here so that advance payment will be knocked off. So now I'll press enter and accept it. So let me just navigate to reports, Alt G, ledger outstanding. I'll select the party, right? So now you can see that particular bill is not showing as pending because it is already cleared. So by default, this ledger outstanding report will show you the outstanding bills as on date, right? Not for the specific period. As on date, how many ever the bills are pending. Till date, it will show you the pending details. But however, you can press F12 here. So you can press Control B here. That is basically the basis of values. This option we have given on the right hand side. So you can press Control B, and here under the type of bills, by default it will be pending bills, right? So you can press Enter on this, and here you can select all bills. So once you select all bills, it will show you cleared bills as well as the pending bills, right? So now you can press Escape. So now you can see that the cleared advance bill is also being reflected over here. So in case if this is an advance reference, it will show under the bracket as advance. You can press Alt F1 for the detailed information. So it will show you when the receipt was recorded and when the sales was recorded, right? What was the item that you have selected. So all the information will be available here. So in this way, you'll be able to knock off the advance payment that you have received. So some of you had asked this question. I hope this has clarified your doubt. Ms. Sudha Jain and one more person had asked about this requirement. I hope this has clarified your doubt about adjusting. So similarly, you have to use the other references also in order to knock off the bills. So based on the bills that you record, whether it is cleared or not cleared, the outstanding report will show the information here. Okay, Vikram G has a question. Is it possible to set any password regarding credit limit? No, sir. Currently, there is no provision to set the password for credit limit. Ms. Chandu is asking about the session recording. Sir, we are recording this particular session. So tomorrow, this link will be shared with all of you to your registered email IDs for this webinar. So in case if you have not received, you can mail to support@tallysolutions.com so that we'll be able to share the recorded link. Yogeshwari, I just modified the credit days during the period, during the entry. So that is what I was explaining. So based on the master, it will capture the credit period, but however, you can modify in the entry level. So we have both the flexibility. Okay, so there are other questions which I'll be covering now. So I hope the adjusting of references is clear. So now I'll take you through the reference of wherein you will be able to partially knock off. So for example, I'll be recording a sales invoice now, a new credit sales invoice for the party Aditi Enterprises. Right. So you can see here now I have recorded the new sales invoice for 12,000 value. So here I've given the new reference. Okay. So here by default it is taking as 5 days as credit days based on the master. So I'll press enter. So now you can see here I've set the credit balance as 10,000, right? Credit limit is 10,000. but now I'm trying to record the invoice for 12,000. So you'll be getting this particular warning message. Credit limit of Aditi Enterprises 10,000 rupees exceeded. Current balance of this party is 22,000. So once you press enter, it will not allow you to save the transaction. So now what I will do, I'll be recording the transaction for lesser details. Okay, so I'll press enter. So again, the pending bills are there, so it is not allowing me to record the transaction. So if you remember, we had the opening balance also, right? So opening balances are still pending. So it's already crossed 10,000. That is the reason it is not allowing me to record the transaction. So in case if you are using this credit limit amount, so this is how it will be behaving in the product. So now what I will do, I'll just remove this specified credit limit so that I'll be able to take you through the transaction flow. So now I've removed that configuration and also I've removed the amount. I'll press enter. Now it will be accepted. So now say suppose I have recorded the invoice for 10,000. I have just received the partial amount. So in case if you are receiving the partial amount, so what you can do while recording the receipt voucher, you can select the party, select against reference, select the particular bill, right? So in case if you have received the partial amount, just enter the partial amount details over here so that you will be able to record the partial amount bill. Okay. So in this way, you'll be able to adjust it partially. So when the remaining amount is received in future, again, you have to record the receipt voucher, tracking the same bill, the remaining amount will display for you. So one of you had asked this question, how to adjust the partial bill. So this is how you'll be just modifying the value, because by default, it will capture 10,000 here. You just need to modify the value which you have received from the particular party. So one more time, if you're going to record the receipt voucher for the same party, so you can see here, the remaining balance will show here, 4,000. Because already 6,000 we have received, remaining balance will be shown here. Mustafa is asking, can we do the same for tax invoice? Yes, it is across all the type of sales voucher types that you would have recorded. Okay, Akhilesh is confirming, is it used when we sold goods on credit basis? Yes. So bill-wise tracking will be related to your pending invoice tracking, right? So pending invoice means whenever you're doing the credit sales, only during those time it will be applicable. When you're doing the cash sales, obviously bill-wise will not be applicable. Hemal is asking why list of pending bills here not seen as per the date. So Hemal, we have not yet set the sorting period over here. So by default today it will be showing based on the bill names, not on the due date actually. So we have considered that requirement. We are ready to enhance that in the product. But currently you need to note that based on the bill names, the sorting of the bills will display here. Okay. So now let me take you through the outstanding report again. So as I mentioned, either you can click on go to here. So let me show you another navigation which you can use it. You can click on display more reports. So once I click on display more reports, navigate to statements of accounts. So under the statements of accounts, you have the option of outstanding, right? So you can click on this. So under the outstanding, we have 4 different reports. So one is receivables. So receivables is basically for your debtors. Payables is for our suppliers, what the amount we are supposed to pay, right? And receivables and payable, these two reports by default it will display for all the parties, right? So if I enter on this receivables, so you can see here the list of all the pending sales invoices for which I'm yet to receive the payment from the party. So here it will display the list of all the pending sales invoices. Similarly, if I click on this payables, so if I enter on this payables, by default, it will show me all the list of purchase invoices for which I'm yet to make the payment to the respective parties. So you do not want to generate for all the invoices at one shot. You want to see for a particular party, right? So then you can click on this ledger option. So once you click on ledger option, the list of ledgers for which you have enabled the billwise will be displayed here. You can select the particular ledger and you can see what are the list of invoices for which the amount is pending at the party level. Right. So now here you can see on the right hand side, we have this option of aging method. So one of you had asked a question like, is the aging is possible? So now you can see the data of this particular transaction is from 1st Jan 23 to till date. Right. So there are bills entered as on different dates here. So I can click on this aging method. So once you click on this aging method, you have two different options to filter as per the bills aging. One is whether you want to consider as per bill date. So bill date is nothing but the date as on which you have recorded that particular invoice, right? So you can apply that particular method also, or you can select the due date. So based on the due date, if you want to extract the aging of the pending bills, you can select aging of due date. In case based on the voucher entry date, you want to extract the aging of pending bills, you can select aging by bill date, right? So now here I'll be selecting as aging by bill date. I'll press enter. So once I press enter, it will ask me to specify the aging days. So this is user friendly. You can enter, for example, 0 to 10 days from the date of entry. I want to know how many bills are falling, right? So 10 to 20 days, 20 days and above. If you want to increment the list, that is also possible. You can do that and you can accept it. So once you press enter, you can see here the aging of billwise will be available here, which you can see for the particular bill, what is the aging, right? So this first bill is as on 31st of Jan that we have recorded. We have mentioned the date of the bill as 31st of Jan, right? So 31st of Jan, and it will compare with the two period here. So currently I'm viewing the report for 1st Jan to 10th of September. So the difference of days between 10th of September and 31st Jan is greater than 20 days, right? So that is the reason these two bills are falling under greater than 20 days. And currently this particular bill, 10th September, I have recorded. And as on 10th September, I'm viewing. So it is 1 day bill, right? So it will be falling under less than 10 days. So in this way, the aging is being considered either based on due date or either based on the voucher entry date. So if you select the due date, based on this due date, the aging will be listed over here. So once this report is ready, either you can export this email to Excel to do the further analysis, or you can print it, or you can send the email also. So that feature also we are having here. Any questions in this aging analysis? So Anur Text Exports has a question for purchases also. This is applicable. Anur, as I mentioned that this is for purchases as well as for sales. So receivables as well as payables. So even in purchases, you will be able to use these references and extract the report. Priyanshi is asking due date. Due date is nothing but date as on which date within which the party is supposed to make the payment, right? So for example, for this 10th September bill, I have given the due date as 15th September. So in case if 10th September, I'm issuing the invoice to party, I'm sending this invoice to mail. the party is supposed to make the payment within 15th of September. That is what the agreement has happened with the party. So the same date you will be mentioning here as due date. Okay. Jaideep and Badrish is asking, is it possible to get the aging analysis for all the parties? So let me just check it out. So I'll be just clicking on this receivables. So now, as I mentioned that here, all the parties, all the invoices will be available. So here also you can get this F6 aging option and you can apply the aging. So for all the parties, you have to navigate to receivables report. Okay. So one more option I would like to show, which is available in this MIS report. So this is available at the ledger report level. I'll just click on this ledger option. So once I click on this ledger option, I'll just go to Aditi Enterprises, right? So now these three bills are pending, right? So what I can do is I can select the respective bills against which I have received the amount from the party, right? I'll select all the three bills. You can see here bill selected for total amount is 14,000, right? So in case if I want to record the receipt voucher directly from this report, you can select the bills. Once you select the bills, on the right hand side, you can see here settle bills option, right? That is Alt B. So you can click on this settle bills. So once you click on settle bills option, you can see one more window will open here for bill settlement. So you can select the voucher type as receipt, enter the voucher date as 15th of September, select account as bank or cash through whichever mode you have received. So here I'm just entering the narration being bills cleared, right? So once I press enter, you can see here automatically the receipt voucher is getting created, right? So the moment I click on this settle bill, so automatically the system will generate the receipt voucher. You can just press Ctrl A to accept it. So once you press Ctrl A and clear all the bills, you can see here under the ledger outstanding now the bills are showing as 0. That means all the bills I have cleared. Okay, so you can use this settle bill option, which is available on the right hand side, the Alt B option settle bills, so that you can select the respective bills against which you have received the payment from the party, and you can select them and you can press Alt B, right? So automatically the system will create a receipt voucher. The same thing you can do it for your payments also. So for both the things it is possible. Okay, Priyansh is asking from where we check that bills are cleared. For checking the bills are cleared, as I mentioned that you have to click on this ledger option only under the outstanding report. Just click on this ledger, select the party, right? So once you select the party, now on the right hand side, you have this basis of values option, Control B option. So click on this basis of values, type of bills, select as all bills, right? So once you select all bills and press escape, the report will capture the cleared bills. So how you will be able to identify this is cleared? Because for these bills, there is no pending amount displayed here. That means these bills are cleared one. So under the ledger outstanding, we have this option, Mr. Priyanshu. Okay, Mr. Bradrish, the selected invoices, or whatever the invoices that you have selected, the receipt voucher will capture the same amount. So in receipt, in case if you are reducing the amount, then obviously you have to select the appropriate amounts against the bill. Otherwise, it will not allow you to move the cursor forward. Amit, in case if you want to clear or knock off the bill against advance payment, as I shown earlier, so while recording the sales invoice, you have to select the advance reference. So here 5th September bill I have shown, wherein while recording the receipt here I have selected the reference as advance, right? So now against that, I have recorded sales invoice as on 10th of September. So here, while recording this invoice, under the bill-wise detail screen, I have selected as against reference. And I have selected the advanced reference so that the knockoff will happen. Okay, Chandrasekhar is asking a requirement, do we get vendor or customer-wise subtotal under reports for MIS? Yes, Mr. Chandrasekhar. So you can navigate to receivables. So under the receivables report, on the right-hand side, you can see we have this option of ledger-wise bills, right? The F8 option. Just click on F8 so that here you'll be able to get the subtotal. I hope this suffices your requirement, Mr. Chandrasekhar. Krishan, can you please share which option exactly you're referring to so that I can explain? So since the participants count is very huge and the number of messages we are getting is very huge, so I request you, all of you, not to split your questions into multiple messages. So whatever the questions that you're asking, I request you to complete in one single chat so that I'll be able to get the complete details of the question. Mr. Pramesh, as I mentioned that this is cleared, this is not cleared bills, right? So by default, the bills receivable report will show you the pending bills as on date. In order to get the cleared bills, you have to navigate at the ledger level. So here, if you can click on this pending bills. So here, in case if you want the cleared bills also. So by default, as I mentioned that for this receivables, it will show pending bills. So in both the reports, you can click on this basis of values. So here you will be getting pending or overdue bills. So as I mentioned earlier, if you want cleared bills, that is available only under ledger outstanding report, not under the bills receivable report. Okay. Krishan is asking where we can find bills receivable and payable details. Krishan, either you can navigate, click on go to, right, and you can find it. Or in case if you cannot find it on go to, just click on this display more reports. Under the display more reports, navigate to statements of accounts. Under the statements of accounts, click on outstanding report so that you will be able to get the further breakup of reports. Okay, so some of you had asked the option query like how do we settle the customer bills along with the receipt and the TDS amount or along with the GST details or other taxes. So it is of the invoice total, whether you have charged the additional charges or taxes are charged, including everything, the invoice amount will be capturing the value. Right, so it's not that for goods value you will generate separate reference or for additional charges you will generate a separate reference. So in that entry, whatever the different ledgers or different items that you have selected, consolidate that value will be your invoice total, and bill-wise value will be captured equal to your invoice total. So it's not required to adjust once again as TDS amount. So some of you are asked to repeat the advanced reference adjustment. So already this is repeated twice in the session. I request you to go through the recording so that we will be able to cater to other questions. Okay, so I hope receivables, payables and ledger report is clear. So next we'll navigate to group report. So when you click on this group option, right, so you will be getting sundry debtors and creditors because for these particular groups, bill wise will be utilized. So here what I'll do, I'll just click on the sundry debtors. So the parties ledgers, which ledgers are created or grouped under sundry debtors group, right? All those ledgers will display here. So consolidated balances, if you want to get the display for the particular debtors group or creditors group, here it will be available. So you can just click on group and you can check it out whether this particular parties has the debit as the closing balance or credit as the closing balance. So here you can see for this GST party, you are getting both debit as well as credit because there are practical scenarios wherein you can buy from the same vendor and you're also making some sales to the same particular party, right? So in that scenario, either you might have created that ledger as sundry debtors or sundry creditors. So in that scenario, when you navigate to this particular group, so since this particular party was created under sundry debtors, here it will list and it will also show you the debit pending balance and credit pending balances. Credit means it will be related to purchases and debit means it will be related to sales. I hope group report is clear to all of you. Amrita, you'll not be able to extract this report without GST because as I mentioned that the invoice will be generated, the bill-wise details will be generated for the invoice total. It's not that I'll be tracking only the goods value here and not the tax details or additional charges. So you'll not be able to apply any filter wherein you'll be able to see the outstanding report excluding the GST information. Okay. Krishan has a question. Can we set the credit limit for group of debtors? Yes, you will be able to set that. So for this, you can click on chart of accounts. So under the chart of accounts, click on ledgers. So under the ledgers, click on multi-masters. Under the multi-masters, you can see here, you will get the option of credit limits here, right? So you just need to enter on this credit limits. Under the credit limits, as I mentioned that you want to set the credit limit for your entire sundry debtors, right? So just press enter on sundry debtors. So for all the particular sundry debtors in one single screen, you'll be able to set the credit limit, credit period, and the other option related to bill wise, you will be able to set it. I hope this navigation is clear to you. Okay. Meenal has a question. In our tally, bills as old as 2010 are showing despite the fact that they are received already. So Meenal, this problem will arise only when you are using the same references across the financial period. For example, last year also you used the bill reference of bill 01 and you cleared it. And in the same company, you have current year data also. And in this year also, you have recorded the sales invoice for the party, that is for the same party with the same reference. So in that scenario, what will happen, since there is no differentiation that is created in the bill reference, the by default the report will start capturing from the previous year. So you need to ensure that whenever you are entering the bill references, you have to give some unique values, right? Even though the multiple financial year data is there. For example, if the bill reference is bill 01, you can give one slash and you can mention 23-24. so that will become your financial year difference, right? So meanwhile, unless and until the bill references are same, they are different, it will not arise. So there will be the bill reference same will be there. You need to check it out in the entry level, because anyway it will track, and once you expand the particular reference, it will show you what are the different entries, right? So once you give some suffix or prefix to the bill references, this particular problem will not arise. So in case if you have given the different bill references but still facing any issue, please reach out to our toll-free number so that we can access your system and we can check it out. Sheetal, you will not be able to remove the old duplicate references because you still need to have those references, right? So instead of removing, you can just go and add some suffix or prefix details to those references so that you will not be facing this issue. So most of you are asking other queries also related to accounting. So tomorrow we do have the Q&A session on accounts and inventory. So I request in case if you can join that session and ask this question, I'll be able to clarify. So in today's session, we will be discussing majorly on the MIS reports. Okay, Rajendra is asking a question. How can I choose debtors list bill wise? So as I mentioned, you have to go to receivables only. So there, as I mentioned that you have to go to display. So under the display, click on statements of accounts. Under the statements of accounts, navigate to outstanding. Under the outstanding, in case if you want the bill references, you have to click on receivables. So here it will display list of all sale invoices, right? So on the right hand side, you have got the option of ledger wise bills, F8 option. So function key F8 you need to click on. So once you click on F8, it will give you the references party wise. So this report you can export it to Excel and do the further alignment or formatting you'll be able to do. Nikhil is asking, can I print this report for selected ledgers? No, Nikhil. So whatever the details are displayed on the screen, it will show you for all the parties. If you want to apply specifically for few parties, on the right hand side, you can see this apply filter option, right? Control F. So you can press Control F and you can filter for the respective parties here. So you can see here ledger name. Now I want to have this report only for this client. So once I filter the report, only this particular party details will get filtered out. So you can apply multiple filtration for the different parties to appear here, selected parties. And after that, you will be able to print with the selected party information. So wherever you want to apply the filter for the selected parties or selected bills, use the Control F option to apply the filter. Krishan is asking a question. Can we set credit limit for subgroup of debtors? I mean, can we set single limit for parent as well as child company? So no, Krishan. So you have to set this at the party level. So it's not that for a particular group you'll be able to set the credit limit. So at the ledger level only you have to set. So few of you have asked the question which we have already covered in other areas. We have already touched upon those areas. Since we are having the time constant, I request you to go through the recording so that you will be able to clarify your doubts. Atul, at the single point in time, will not be able to set the credit limit for multiple companies at once. So you can set the multiple parties of a particular company at once, not for all the companies at once. Amit Sharma, if you want to know the navigation of aging analysis, in any report you navigate to this outstanding report. On the right hand side, we have given this aging method option, that is F6, right? So F6 aging method is available on the right hand side. Use the same option for extracting the aging analysis. Either it is in receivable report or payable report or at the ledger outstanding report. Mr. Manish, a recording link will be mailed to you, or else you can also reach to our toll-free number tomorrow and get the link from us. Okay. So far we were able to cover only one particular bill, one particular MIS report. We'll quickly navigate to the other reports that we wanted to cover in today's session. So next report we will be discussing about is about the payments and receipts. So what does this payment and receipt relates to, right? So in the business, you will be having the payments which are being made to different type of expenses. Either it could be direct expense or indirect expense or salary expenses, right? Or in-house expenses, or you would have received the amount towards your income or sales made, right? Or for any other services rendered. So together for a particular period, you want to analyze what are the total payments and total receipts that you are having, right? Irrespective of any mode in which you have received the amount from the parties or you have made the payment to the vendors. So if you want to analyze this particular details, which is very much crucial so that you will be able to control your expenses and also take actions to increase your receipts, right? So for this thing, we have given the payments and receipt reports. So before I show you the navigation, how do we extract this payment and receipt report? So is the concept is clear why we have this payment and receipt report? So that the businesses will be able to analyze what are the list of expenses and the incomes they have got for a particular period so that suitable actions can be taken up, right? So now let me show you how this payment and receipt report you will be able to extract it. So I'm just navigating to Gateway of Tally by pressing Escape. So now I'm Gateway of Tally. So in order to navigate this payment and receipt report, always you have to click on this Go To option, which is on the top menu. So press Alt G or click on this Go To. So once you click on this, here you have to search for the report, right? So here you can type as payment and receipt. So now you can see I have just entered as payment here. So related to payment, all the reports that are available will be displayed here. So as I mentioned that I require the receipts and payments, right? So I'll just click on this receipts and payments. So once I click on this receipt and payments, you can see the receipt and payment summary. So on the left hand side, you'll be getting all the receipts, group wise receipts you'll be getting. And on the right hand side, you'll be getting all the group wise payments. So now it is showing you the groups, right? So from the current assets, what is the receipt that you have got? Through the sales account, what is the receipt that you have generated, right? And it will also show you the closing balance. So in this view, it is going to be confused for you. If you want to know the ledger wise view, then on the right hand side, we have this option of ledger wise. That is, by clicking on F5, the same report will be converted into ledger wise, right? So here, now you can see that the receipts are from Aditya Enterprises, Girias, GST Party. So all these are receipt ledgers. And whatever the payments that are our expenses, electricity charges, salary, purchases, transportation, So ledger wise, you will come to know for the specific period, what is the total amount of payment that you have made. So for doing the further analysis, as I mentioned that any report from Tally, you will be able to export it to Excel, and based on the period you can generate, right? And you will be able to compare also. So within the product, if you want to compare, so you can see here, we have the option of this Alt C on the right hand side, right? So on the right hand side, you have various options. So on the right hand side, you have this Alt C of new column, or you can click on this Alt and auto column option also. So I'll click on this Alt and auto column. I want to compare for monthly, right? So you have the periodicity over here, using which you'll be able to apply the comparison view in the report, and the same comparison you will be able to export it to Excel so that you will be able to present your management, right? So you can click on this monthly. So you can see here month on month, whatever the payments and receipts are there, here it is available. You just need to scroll, use the right arrow mark so that you will be able to scroll it. The same report, since we cannot bring it under one display, you can export it to Excel. So under the Excel, you can make the further analysis formatting, and you will be able to understand the comparison view. Using the Alt C or Alt N option, that is Alt C new column, Alt N auto column option, in any report, you will be able to apply the comparison view. It is not only for this receipts and payments. You can go to stock summary or any other report. You'll be able to apply these function keys to have a comparison view of the particular report. Okay, Mr. Anil, the closing balance, what is indicated in payments and receipt is about the bank and cash. So you can see here, once I applied this Alt and auto column, so the balances are from bank and cash accounts, because whatever the balance that you're having in your bank, that is also your receipts, right? So if that has a respective debit or credit balance, accordingly, it will show under receipts or payment side. Chandrasekhar, currently we do not get the columnar view here. So as I mentioned that since more columns, more ledgers are there, and different periodicity has been set, all the columns will not be able to capture under the single display. As I mentioned that you can export this report. For example, you can click on this Alt T export, click on current option, select the file format as Excel. Okay, so I'm selecting the file format as Excel here, and I'll click on Excel option, Excel here. I'll click on send report. So the report is getting exported to Excel now. So now you can see this particular report is exported to Excel. So this is in columnar details. So this report, either you can format it, so you can see your different periodicity is available. So either you can format or you can apply some colors here, and you can present it to the management as part of the analysis reports. Hope this has clarified your question. Rajesh is asking the navigation. So Mr. Rajesh, in order to get this navigation, you need to simply click on the go to option. So on the top menu, you have this click on go to, right? So you just need to click on this go to. Type any report that you want to extract. For example, here I'll mention. I've clicked on receipt, right? So here it will list out the reports. I just click on this receipts and payments, what is available in the search. So once you press enter on this, you'll be able to get the receipts and payment summary. Few of you are having the tax related queries. I request you to check out the webinar calendar, and for different taxes, we have schedules available. I request you to join the respective session so that we'll be able to take up those queries in detail and clarify. Okay. Mahesh has a question. Cost center wise receipts and payments are required. Cost center wise receipts and payments currently here it's not available, Mr. Mahesh. So it will display at the ledger level. So cost center wise reports are different, which we request you to check out in our tally help. So cost center wise reports you'll be able to extract, but not in the same format. In the same format, if you require the cost center wise information, so you can do the customization with the help of Tally Partner. So Mr. Rajendra was having a question, how to set the debit limit for parties. So there is no option to set the debit limit. It is always the credit limit that we have the provision to set. So debit limit is nothing but it's related to payable, right? So in case if the other supplier has taken a decision that he's not going to make the credit sales to you or to your business more than 50,000. So that will be his business policy. So though it is available in the agreements and other things, so but still in the data entry of yours, you will not be maintaining that information, right? So once you receive the invoice from the party, then only you'll be recording the purchase invoice. So that is the reason here we have not given the specified debit limit option, only credit limit option is available. Okay, so there are other questions. I'll be able to take it up at the end of the session. So since we are already exceeding the session time and we have a couple of more reports to cover, we will be taking them at the end of the session. So we'll be discussing about the next report, that is budget variance. So under the budget variance, we will let you know how to set the budgets at the ledger level and you'll be able to see the variance. So obviously, when it comes to budget variance, I'll take the example of setting the budget for expense ledger and how you'll be able to compare with the actuals in the reports, right? So similarly, you can set the budget amount for any of the group or for any of the ledger type, or for the cost center also you'll be able to set the budget. But to show you the particular feature demo, I'll be taking up one ledger and I'll be demonstrating it. So currently here I'm creating a ledger as stationery expenses. So stationery expenses I'm creating under indirect expenses. I'll enter and accept it. Right. So once I enter and accept this particular ledger, I'll click on master creation, show more, right? So once you navigate to masters create and click on show more, so here you'll be getting the option of budget, right? So you can set the budget directly from the master screen. No need to go and enable any feature in F11. So just directly you need to go to masters create and click on show inactive. You'll be able to get the budget option here, right? So I'll press enter on this budget. So once you enter on this budget, you can create n number of budgets for the comparison. So here I'll give the name as stationery expenses. And here I'll be able to set the budget period, for which particular period you are setting the budget. It could be quarterly, or it could be half yearly, or it could be yearly as well. So here I'll set the budget for 1st September to 30th September. So you'll be able to get the further option whether you want to set the budget at the group level or at the ledger level. So what I will do, since I wanted to set at the ledger level, I'll be enabling the option of ledgers here. So I'll enter on this ledgers. So obviously I'll be able to get the list of ledgers here. So under the list of ledgers, I'll press spacebar to get the list of ledgers. So as I mentioned that this ledger I'm going to allocate is stationery expenses, which we have created newly. So cost entry is not applicable. And here I can set the budget for comparison either on closing balance of this particular ledger or on the net transactions, right? So obviously, since it is an expense, will this have a balance? No, right? So obviously I'll be just incurring the expenses. So here I'll select on net transactions, and here I'll mention the amount as 25,000, for example. So my actual value should not cross 25,000 in the month of September for the stationery expenses. So here for the comparison, either it could be single invoice or multiple invoices. The consolidated value will be compared with this budgeted value, so that you will be able to understand whether you have exceeded the budget value or whether you are within the budget value, so that periodically you will be able to take the decisions to curtail the expenses. So for this reason, budget will be used. So here I'll press enter and accept it. So in the same budget, you can set for different periods, right? It's not that for different periods for the same expense ledger, you have to create different budgets. So it's not required. For different periodicity, in case if you are going to increase or decrease the budget value, within the same budget, you can give the period and you can increase or decrease the value. Okay. So now I'll press enter and accept it. So I've accepted the budget now. So now let me record a payment entry. For example, in the month of September, I have incurred the expenses for stationery. So I'll be recording a payment entry. So here I'll select bank. I'll select stationery expenses. And here I'll give it as 15,000. So I'll just enter and accept this entry now. So after accepting this entry, so I'll navigate to display. You can go to trial balance also. In case if you have set for multiple ledgers, different budgeted amount is available. You can click on trial balance also. On any report, once you create the budget, on the right hand side, you can see this F10 option, that is budget variance, right? So here I can click on ledger wise. So ledger wise, all the balances will be there. And here I'll click on budget variance, and whatever the budget I have created for the particular ledger or for the particular group of ledgers, here I'll select the respective budget from list of budgets. So currently I've created only for stationery. I'll select the same thing, right? So now you can see based on the data, it will show you the actuals, right? So it is 15,000. Okay, let me just change the period for September to 30th September. So once you drill down, you can see here, this is at 25,000. So currently it is not showing you any variance because it is within the budget, right? So once it crosses the particular budgeted value, it will show you the variance. So you can either select this F10 option, or when you navigate to trial balance and click on ledger wise, here on the right hand side, you have this Alt C option also, right? So as I mentioned earlier, Alt C or Alt N option, you'll be able to utilize for applying the comparison view. Along with that, you can also apply these options for knowing the variance details, right? So you can click on this new column. So you can select the budget, click on show variance, and accept it. So variance is not available. So as I mentioned that it is within the budget amount. So that is the reason it is not showing you any variance. So now let me just alter this particular budget. Stationery expenses, whatever the budget that I have created, I'm just altering it. Right. So here I'm just selecting on closing balance. Press enter and accept it, so that on the closing balance of that ledger, I'll be able to have the comparison instead of net transactions. I'll navigate to display more reports. I can also navigate to accounts book. From the ledger report, you'll not be able to do it. Let me just show you that. So once you navigate to the report, right? So here it will display you the list of vouchers. So from the ledger report, you'll not be able to do this. So only from the consolidated view, you'll be able to do this. So again, I'll just click on this trial balance, ledger wise. Click on budget variance. Okay. Let me just edit this particular invoice as 30,000. I'll enter and accept it. Just 1 minute, I'm just changing the period. It's from September to 30th September. I'm drilling down only to this particular ledger. I'll click on budget variance. So now you can see here. So since I've applied the budget only for this particular ledger, I've just drilled down. So I have clicked on this F10 budget variance. So as per the budget, it is 25,000, right? And as per the transaction that have recorded, it is 30,000. So whatever is the percentage it will show, and whatever the variance that I have exceeded. So I have exceeded by 5,000 will be displayed under variance. So my budgeted value was 25,000, and now the actual transaction value is 30,000. So I have exceeded the budget by 5,000. The same thing will be displayed under this variance report. So currently I have done the drill down because I did not set for all the ledgers here. So if you have set for all the ledgers, then directly when you click on trial balance, you can click on this budget variance and you will be able to get the information. So currently I've shown you only with the trial balance. So it's not that. So it is available at the other reports also. So from either balance sheet or from profit and loss account, you can drill down. So even at the group summary level also, budget variance report is option is available. So you can also go to display more reports. You can go to accounts book. So under the account books, you can go to group summary option. So either at cash or bank books or group summary, you can enter on this select the particular group. For example, for the indirect expense group level, you have set the budget. So under indirect expense group, any ledger which you have created, it will take the consolidated value of all those ledger transactions and it will show you the variance. Currently, I have shown you only for setting at the ledger level. Even at the accounting group level also, you'll be able to set. Now I'll select indirect expenses. So here it will give you for the particular period, whatever the indirect expenses that transaction exists along with the closing balance, right? So here also you'll be able to click on this budget variance, select the particular budget and you'll be able to get the information. So currently here it is not showing me any information because only have created the budget for this particular ledger level, not at the group level. So under the group summary, currently it is not showing any information. So when you're creating the budget, you can also select the particular group and you can set the budget limit for a particular group, like it could be expenses or incomes. So for any group, you'll be able to set the budget. Okay, Anil is asking, I want to check for the whole year. So Anil, while setting the budget, you can give the complete period. So as I mentioned for ledger, it's only for a specific period I have configured, September 1st to 30th September. If you want for the whole year, you can configure the whole financial period while creating the budgets. Okay, Malika is asking a question. Is there any option available for alert message while preparing the voucher? No, Malika. So as I mentioned, alerts or reminders, we do not have that. So because that differs from business to business. So I request you to get it customized along with the partner's help. Okay, Rajat is asking warning when amount crosses the budget. No, Rajat, currently we do not have any warning messages or alerts being set, but however, you can get it customized. So along with the partner's help. So if you do not know to which particular partner to reach out, you can reach out to our support toll-free number. We will be able to help you with the lead creation. Okay, Sauda has a question why it is showing some amount difference in your trial balance. Sauda, since my opening balances are not having the equal amount, debit amount is not equal to credit amount, it is showing the difference in opening balances. So in the regular data, obviously when you finalize the books of accounts, your liabilities, your debit will be equal to credit, right? So in case if that is not equal in the ledger opening balances, then it will show the differences. Okay. Tasveer is asking what is the toll-free number? Tasveer, that is available on our website, tallysolutions.com. Just go to our tallysolutions.com. On the right-hand side, you'll be able to find the support toll-free number. Bhumika, it requires still another 30 minutes to cover the session. So in case if you are in hurry, you can listen to the recording. Okay, so we'll move on to the next report that we wanted to discuss. The next report is about the payment performance of debtors. So some of you had asked the question, how do we extract this? So payment performance of debtors is nothing but what is the average days each party is taking to clear the pending bills, right? So obviously based on that only you'll be giving the credit option to the parties, right? So if the particular party is not at all returning the, not at all giving the clearing the bill for you, right? Obviously in the next time you'll not be giving the credit to that particular party. So to make all these decisions, you can refer to this payment performance of debtors. So in order to extract the payment performance of debtors, you can navigate to product. Okay, so I'm currently in the gateway of Tally. So from the gateway of Tally, you need to click on ratio analysis. So once you enter on ratio analysis from the gateway of Tally, on the right hand side, you can see one ratio, that is payment performance of debtors, which is nothing but receivable turnover in days, right? So you can press enter on this payment performance of debtors. So for all the ledgers that you have created under Sunday debtors group or subgroups, you will be able to get the information here, right? And you can click on this ledger wise also or group wise also. So for example, currently here it is displayed at a party level. So currently I'm viewing this report between 1st Jan to 15th of September. You can also change the period here. So you can view the payment performance of debtors using two different formula, using receivables formula, and another one is using actual bill clearance days, right? So since for this Aditya Enterprises, all the bills are already cleared, it is showing under using actual bill clearance days. So if you press enter on this, right, so you will get the formula here based on which the system is calculating the average days. So the formula that is used by the system is closing balance of this party divided by total sales into number of days, right? So here closing balance of this Aditya Enterprise is 0 divided by 15,000 was total sales. That is nothing but total sales entries, whatever we recorded was for 15,000 into number of days, right? So between 1st Jan to 15th of September, whatever the number of days are there, same thing will be displayed over here. So based on that, it will show you the average days in which it has been cleared. So at the bill level also here you can see number of days from the due date. So this particular bill was raised as on 10th of September and it got cleared as on 10th of September as well as on 15th of September, right? So within the due date, it has been cleared. So number of days from due date is showing as 0 days here. And this opening balance bill was due as on 31st of Jan itself, but it got cleared as on 15th of September. So it was cleared after 248 days of overdue, right? So that is the reason here, accordingly, number of days from due date will be shown here. So once it calculates at each bill level, it will show you the average performance of the debtors. So 285 will be shown based on the formula and based on the actual days the party has taken to clear the bill. It will show you the information accordingly. So since all the bills of Aditya Enterprises are cleared, it is falling under using actual bill clearance days. So now let me just record one sale entry and show you the difference, how this is being calculated. So I'm recording the entry as on 15th of September. I'll just create a new party under Sunday debtors. Okay. So I'm not entering any opening balance here. I'm just creating a party. And now I'm recording a sales entry for this particular new party as on 15th of September. Okay. So the balance is 500, right? So I'll select new reference. And this is due as on, for example, 20th of September. This particular bill is due as on 20th of September. I'll enter and accept it. So now I'll navigate to ratio analysis. I'll click on receivable, turnover in days or payment performance of debtors. And here you can select the new party, right? So now I have entered the period of 1st Jan. So from this date onwards, it will show. So I'll just enter the September month here. So it will show as 30 days, right? So how this is being calculated, that is based on the period that I have entered here. So since the transaction only for September I'm viewing, so here it will show you the new party as 30 days because it was supposed to get cleared, but still it is not being cleared. So it is showing based on using receivables formula. right? So receivable formula is cleared like this. Closing balance of this party is 500 divided by total sales that I have recorded is 500 into number of days. Number of days, how it will consider based on the period that I have entered in this particular report. So 1st September to 30th September, 30 days are there. So based on this formula, 30 days, it is showing as average performance of the debtor. So now say suppose that I'll be recording a transaction of receipt. So now I'll be recording a receipt. For example, as on 21st, I recorded the receipt for the new party. Whatever the bill was there, it got cleared as on 21st of September. But actually, he was supposed to clear within 20th of September, but he cleared as on 21st. So there is a overdue by 1 day, right? So accordingly, even the payment performance will go high. So now when I go to this ratio analysis, under the ratio analysis, again, I'll click on this payment performance of debtors. Now you can see for the new party, it is showing based on the actual bill date that he has cleared, it is 6 days. So 15th of September was the bill recorded, but he cleared as on 21st. So he took 6 days to clear. So based on the different bills, it will calculate the different actual days which he has taken to clear, and accordingly the payment performance of debtors will reflect the information over here. So few of you had asked about this payment performance of debtors. I hope the formula and how using actual bill clearance dates, the calculation is calculated. So calculation is happening here. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay, Utpal Datta is asking a question. What would be the result in the new party paid in advance? So if the party has paid in advance, then obviously it will be advance reference, right? So it is not a pending bill actually. So I'll just show you with that particular flow also. So now say suppose I have received the advance from the new party. So as on 21st, I'm receiving this advance through bank, new party. So here I'll be selecting advance reference. Okay, so I'm receiving 20,000. Okay, so I'll just enter and accept it. So now let me navigate to ratio analysis, payment performance of debtors. So you can see here under using receivables formula, it will display, right? Because I'll just give the period. September to September. Yeah. So since I recorded the advance reference, obviously the closing balance of this party went high. So closing balances will get impacted with the advances that I record. So if there are advances, then for this calculation, it will get impacted. But however, when you drill down, it will show only the sales invoices against which the bills are pending. Mr. Utpal, I hope this has clarified your question. So this will be participating under closing balance. So obviously, it will increase the days actually. So unless and until it is being cleared. So once you knock off the particular advance receipt in the sale bill, then obviously the closing balance will come down, and accordingly it will be showing the payment performance of the debtors. Okay, so next report that we wanted to discuss is about negative ledgers. So negative ledgers means what? So for example, you have created a particular party under sundry debtors, but instead of recording the sales transaction, you are just recorded only the purchase transactions. So in case if the particular party is supposed to be under debtors, he should be having the debit as closing balance, right? But in case if the particular party has credit as closing balance, then such ledgers will show as negative. For example, you have created an expense ledger. You should be having the debit balance, but you are having a credit balance. So based on the nature of ledger, in case if the balance is not matching, that is debit and credit has mismatch, then all such ledgers in the data will be reflected under negative ledger report. So further, you can investigate with this report whether the transaction the user has entered, is it correct or not, and accordingly will be able to apply correction in the data. So let me just show you this in the product. Okay. So in order to extract the negative ledger report, you just need to click on display more reports. Under the display more reports, you have this exception report. Under the exception, you have this exception report menu. So just enter on this exception reports. So here you do have the option of negative ledgers. Just enter on this so that you will be able to get the respective ledgers, right? So now you can see new party is supposed to have debit balance. So since this particular party has credit balance because of the advance entered, here it will be showing under credit. So you can validate this, and in case if this is correct, you can just leave as it is. And cash, instead of having the debit balance, it just has the credit balance because there is no opening balance or there is no inward of cash, but we are just using this cash ledger for making the payment. So in that scenario, this only credit balance is appearing. So accordingly, you can see whether actually the cash is having the credit balance or it has gone to negative, and accordingly you'll be able to apply the corrections in the data. This is about the negative ledger report, which you can utilize for correcting the transaction if there are any mistakes or validating the proper balances of these ledgers. Okay, Yogesh has a question. If party is recorded for sales and purchase both, then Yogesh, under the payment performance of debtors, it will capture only the sales related information, not the purchase. So Kalyan is having a question how to set 0 credit days under default credit period. By default, it will be 0 only. So while making the entry, if you do not want to give any due date, just press enter so that no date will be captured over there. Or you can mention as 0 and you can move forward. Okay, this is about some of the accounting related MIS reports. So quickly, I would like to take you through the inventory related MIS reports so that we'll be able to cover up quickly. So the first and foremost important report for any business which manages inventory is obviously stock summary. So what is stock summary? Stock summary will display you the till date, that is real time balances of your stock, irrespective of any type of different transactions that you have recorded. Whether you have recorded order vouchers or whether you have recorded receipt note or purchase, sales or rejections, only inventory vouchers you have recorded or only manufacturing entries you have recorded, irrespective of any inventory or accounting vouchers that you have recorded for your stock item, stock summary will keep updating the real-time inventory levels. So in order to understand the real-time inventory levels, you can use this stock summary report. So obviously those who are maintaining the inventory, this will be applicable. So already almost all of you might be utilizing this report. So on the gateway of Tally, we have this stock summary option. Just enter on this, it will show you group wise and stock item wise view. So in case if a group is displayed, then you can see here Samsung. In my data, it is showing in bold. So this is a group. So below this group, I have created different stock items. So if the group is not there, that is by default, the items are available under primary. By default, this will display under item details, right? So now you have this group as well as item. So you do not want the group details, but you want the item details. On the right hand side, you can get some more options, that is FI stock item wise. So you can just simply click on FI, so that group information will not be there, only item details will be available here. So as you can see, stock summary by default, it will display you the closing balance, that is based on real-time inventory details. It will keep updating the quantity levels and it keeps reevaluating the stock value, right? So by default, it will show you the closing balance. But however, if you want to know how much is the inward and outward, you can simply click on F12 here and you can enable these options. If you want to know the opening balance, you can enable it under the F12. Or if you want inwards and outwards, if you want that, you can enable here and you can get the view of the stock summary in this way. So wherein it will display you the opening balance for the period, inwards for the period, outwards for the period, and closing balance details for the period. Item wise, you will be able to extract from here. So as I mentioned that here also there are certain options, all see all 10. Again, you can click on this option for the comparison. If you click on all 10 and if you want to just compare for daily, right? So you can just apply this comparison so that period on period, whatever the stock variations are there, if you want to analyze in Excel, you can click on this all 10 here, select the periodicity and export this report to Excel so that you'll be able to analyze the information. Okay, Bharat is asking in the report not showing grid lines. So grid lines currently we do not have as part of the default feature, Bharat. But however, there are certain add-ons which our partners have already developed. So the smaller requirements, we do have the add-ons. So if you want to understand how you will be able to try these add-ons, on the product, you simply click on this F1 help. So under the help, we have this tally shop option. Just click on this tally shop. It will navigate you to our website, that is tallysolutions.com, wherein the list of add-ons are available, right? So here you can search for grid lines. So once you search for grid lines, so you can see here there are many add-ons developed by our different partners. So you can just simply click on this particular grid lines and you'll be able to know the price details, what are the requirements. So as per your license, how much you're supposed to pay. And you can also try the add-on before making a purchase. So all these things you'll be able to explore under our tally shop. Okay, Amit Sharma has asked a question, how to check day by day stock summary. So as I mentioned, Amit, you can use alt and option daily periodicity. So that day by day daily stock you'll be able to check. That is for comparison. But however, daily stock register, if you require, there is one more option. I'll click on stock item wise. Just 1 minute. Yeah, I'll click on stock item wise. I'll press enter on the particular stock item. For the particular stock item, now you are in stock item monthly summary, right? So under the stock item monthly summary, so here you have this F6 monthly option. So if you click on this arrow mark, here you'll be getting the daily, right? So at a particular stock item level, you'll be able to get to know the daily stock closing balances, what is the inward or outward. But at this report level, you do not have this daily option. You can click on this all 10 and you can select daily. But however, for a particular stock item, if you want to understand the daily inwards, outwards, and closing balance, you can press enter on the particular stock item. On the right hand side, click on this arrow mark against F6 option available. Click on this Control F6 daily so that you will be able to provide the period and you'll be able to get daily inferences. Okay. Rajat is asking HSNY stock summary. HSNY stock summary is currently not available, Rajat. We have considered that requirement. Mr. Bharat, we do understand that certain are generic requirements. We currently do not have these things in Tally, but certainly we have considered those requirements so that we will be able to provide that in our future product releases. Okay. So Ms. Sudha has a question. In stock summary, some stock items like item A shows only quantity and other item B shows only value of that item, not quantity. So Sudha, in case if you are using godowns or batches, then in case if there is a mismatch in the allocation, for example, you made a purchase from one location and while recording the sales entry, you have used the location where the stock is not available. In that reason, these kind of issues will happen. So in case if you are using godowns or batches, please check the information that you have recorded in every purchase and every sales. That will help you to apply the correction. Only that is the reason why this issue will arise. Okay, Manjul Kurma Sharma is asking which valuation method is adopted by Tally. So Tally is adopting average cost by default. But however, at the item level, you can go and set the other costing methods available like FIFO, LIFO, and other things. In India, majorly average cost or FIFO is being used. Okay, Akil is asking a question. Show profit is not correctly showing the profit details here. Akil, in the stock summary report, show profit. Once you click on this F7 option, right? So this profit will display based on your costing method that you have set. So in case if this is not correct, then we need to analyze the data, like how the transactions are recorded or from which transaction onwards this is impacting. So in case if you can reach out to our toll-free number, we will be able to help you out. Okay. Mr. Vikram is asking, can we able to generate the stock statement also? Mr. Vikram, I understand that stock statement would be required in case if you want to procure loans and other things. So the stock summary report itself, you can extract and you can show the closing balance as your stock statement, including inwards and outwards. Okay, so we'll proceed displaying the other report. So next is about stock aging analysis. So this is another important report which obviously most of the businesses would require. So considering the date of purchase, I want to know what exactly is the exact age of my stock item, right? Or stock items lot that I'm owning it. So stock aging analysis will help you out. So in order to extract this stock aging analysis in product, what you can do, you can click on this go to option or you can go to display more reports. So here I'll click on this display more reports. Under the display more reports, you can click on statements of inventory. Under the statements of inventory, click on aging analysis. Under the aging analysis, select the particular group. So under the group as on date, it will show you the aging information, right? So either based on the purchase date or based on the batch date, that is batches will be mostly used when you are a manufacturer or when you are into the trading of the goods which has a manufacturing date and expiry date details, right? So in that scenario, you can select the batch date also as one of the parameter to extract. So here, like your outstanding report, you have this option of F6 aging periods. Click on this F6 so that you'll be able to set the aging details here. Okay, so as per the columns that you add, and based on the purchase date, it will show you the details over here, right? So now all the stock item details are showing more than 50 days old because the transaction dates are older one. Let me just change the period to example 31st Jan, right? So now you can see currently I am viewing the report for 31st of Jan. So as on 31st of Jan, whatever the balances of this particular items are there, based on that, it will check for the voucher date of the purchase, and along with that, it will show you in which particular column it is displaying. Now for this cement, it is displaying under 20 to 30 days. If you press enter, what is the date of purchase? It is 1st of January, right? So 1st of January to 31st of January, it will compare and accordingly it will show this is falling between 20 to 30 days. And these purchases are made as on 31st of January. So 31st of January to 31st of January, obviously there is a periodicity of 1 day. So these purchases are reflecting under less than 10 days. So for the particular stock item, again you can see how much lot is being shown under less than 10 days, 10 to 20 days. So this will help you to take the corrective decision which particular lot or which particular purchase lot you are supposed to issue first whenever you are making a sales, right? So for that decision making and for having the proper inventory management, stock aging analysis will help you out. I hope stock aging analysis is clear to all of you. So we'll go to the next report. Next report is reorder status. Reorder status is also very effective in managing your inventory. Reorder status means you will be able to configure the reorder levels for your stock items. That is the quantity which you would like to always maintain and have it for the particular stock item. So based on the trend of sales or based on the trend of consumption, if you want to have X number of quantity always available with you, you will be configuring that as reorder quantity for the stock items, right? So based on that, and the system will compare with your actual quantity that is available with you, and it will show you whether you are supposed to place the order for that item or not, right? So in case if you are having a workflow wherein you are supposed to share the list of items with your procurement team or purchase department so that they will be able to order with the supplier, right? So if you want to extract those items list readily available, you can configure this reorder level. Let me just show you that particular feature. So in order to have the reorder levels to be managed, you need to activate the purchase order. So obviously you'll be maintaining the reorder status report so that you'll be able to make the order, right? So wherever the quantity is deficient, quantity is not sufficient, obviously you'll be placing the purchase order. So based on that, once you activate the purchase order, you'll be able to maintain the reorder level information. Now what I will do is I'll just simply click on masters, alter. Under the alter, I'll go to voucher type. Under the voucher type, I'll select purchase order. Under the purchase order, I'll be getting this option, activate this voucher type. So I'll just enable this option so that purchase order is activated. I'll enter and accept the screen. So now I have activated the purchase order. After activating the purchase order, once again I am into master, create. So under the master create, now you can see under the inventory masters, only I'm getting stock group, category, stock item and all, right? I'm not getting the reorder level information. So what I will do, I'll click on show more. And I'll click on show inactive as well. So still this is not available. So under the master creation, this is not available. So what I will do now, I'll be navigating to masters alter option. So some of the masters for the creation also it is available under alteration. So now I'll click on show more. So under the master alteration, if I click on show more, then you can see under inventory masters menu, reorder level option is available. Either you can set the reorder level for a particular stock item or for the stock items which are created under a particular group, right? Or for a particular stock category also you can create. Now what I will do, I'll just click on this reorder level stock group, and here I'll be selecting the stock group as Samsung. I'll press enter here. So now you can see here, whatever the different stock items I have created under this particular Samsung group, all those items will be available under one screen so that you will be able to set the reorder quantity information. So here I'll mention 100. And here you will be getting two different columns. Okay. So by default, this will be under simple parameter method. So one is reorder quantity and another one is minimum order quantity. The reorder quantity is nothing but the quantity which I would like to always have in my stock, right? And minimum order quantity means whenever I'm placing a purchase order for this item, what will be the minimum quantity that I'll be placing the order. So here I'll mention as 50. So this is not mandate. If you want, you can mention or you can leave it as blank. But the mandate one is to mention the reorder quantity details. So I'll mention this information for these stock items. I'll enter and accept. So configuration is required only this much. You just need to go and specify the quantity which you would like to always have in your stock for these items, right? So now you would have recorded various transactions for these items, purchase, sales, the consumption entries, or the any type of entries you would have recorded. And based on this, what will happen under your stock summary, it will show you the list of quantity details over here, right? So now in order to know the report, what you will do, you'll be navigating to display more report. Click on the statements of inventory. So under the statements of inventory, you have this option of reorder status report. So you can click on this reorder status report, press enter. You'll get the view of stock groups or stock category level also you'll be able to extract it. Simply click on stock group and select the particular stock group for which you have configured the reorder level. So once you enter over here, by default, it will show you only the list of those items for which the shortage is there compared with your existing stock level, so that you will be able to place the order, or you will be able to share this information with your purchase department so that they can place the order accordingly. So now for this smartphone, what is the quantity that we are available? 68 are there, but as per the reorder level, we need to have 100. So we have the shortage of 32 numbers, right? So the same thing will be shown under your order to be placed. Similarly, for smartwatch, currently we are having 180 numbers in our stock, but we are supposed to have 200 numbers. Shortfall is 20 numbers. Accordingly, it will display the information. By default, this report will show you only those items for which the shortage is available. Shortfall is nothing but shortage. So the moment you click on show all here by pressing F8, it will display you other items also for which the shortfall is not available. So you can see here for Samsung TV, currently I'm having the stock of 70 numbers, but I can have up to 50 numbers. So I have more number of stock compared with my reorder level. So this item is not displaying under shortfall. So with this ready report, you will be able to give the information to your purchase department so that they will be able to place the order. So So that is the advantage of this reorder status report. So the configuration is very simple. You just need to go and set the reorder quantity. Okay, Yogesh has a question. Is alert available in Tally for reorder status? So once it crosses the shortage, there will not be any reminders or alerts set. So as I mentioned earlier also, for none of the feature, currently we do have any alert mechanism. So that we are yet to build in the product. So it depends like how frequently the user wants. So all those scenarios we need to consider. So currently we have not yet given that in the product, Mr. Yogesh. So if that is required, you can get it customized. Bharat has a question. If we have 5,000 items, do we need to enter the value for 5,000 times? It's not 5,000 times. So in case if all those 5,000 items are tradable stock, so majorly this feature will be required for tradable stock or for your raw materials consumption, right? So that you can have proper stock of the items so that you will be able to cater to your orders or your consumption need. So for whichever item this is required and majorly tracked, that without which you will not be able to do the consumption or do the business, only for those list of items it is required. Obviously, if all the 5,000 items are tradable stock, then you have to enter the reorder status for all those 5,000 items. Okay, so yeah, Mr. Bharat, I do understand that it is difficult to enter, but it is one-time configuration, right? So it is one-time setting that you will be setting it, but as and when it is getting revised, the reorder stock level is revised, you need to keep feeding that in the information to the system. Otherwise, it becomes otherwise system will not be having any base, right? So that it will compare and it will show you the requirement whether the order has to be placed or not. So some base we need to set for this. We need to have this information entering in the system. Yeah, when some criteria changes, you can give the different period and you can set it. So when you click on this reorder level, no, while configuring it, you have the period to set. You can just set the period and then you can again change it. So when it changes, you can just revise this. So however, this report is required as on date, right? So as on date, whatever is your stock level, based on that, it will show you the variance. You just need to go and make the alteration of the details when the criteria changes. We'll navigate to the next report now. So next report is order outstanding. So this would be applicable for the businesses which is maintaining the flow of order till receipt, right? So in certain companies, unless and until they record the sales order or purchase order for the transaction, they do not enter it. So in case if you are maintaining the order system, obviously, for example, you have this sales orders, right? So you are receiving the various sales orders from your customers and you want to track how many sales orders you have cleared the goods and for how many sales orders still it is pending and still they are pending for the invoice issuance. All those things you will be able to track it using our order system. So order till receipt is available. So I'll just show you with one of the sales orders so that you'll be able to understand the flow. So later you'll be able to try in your demo data. So now what I will do in order to show the order mechanism, I'll just go to sales order and activate it. So in order to activate the voucher type, as I shown you in purchase order, you just need to go to masters alter, click on voucher type. So under the voucher type, select sales order. So here you can activate this voucher type. So I'll activate this voucher type so that I'll be able to use it. So if the voucher type is not activated, you will not be able to record this voucher. So I have activated the sales order now. So now I'll be recording the sales order. I'll just click on masters vouchers. Sorry, under the masters menu, voucher menu is there. Just click on that. So now by default, it will show you the last voucher that you have recorded. So on the right hand side, you have this option of other vouchers. Just click on other vouchers. So under the other vouchers, you can see sales order is available here. Click on the sales order. Now the sales order screen is visible. So similar to your sales invoice, same option will be available here. Only one thing additional will be your order number, right? So in order to identify the unique order numbers that you have raised so that you will be able to track it similar to your bill wise references, for every sales order, you will be allocating a order number. So here I'll select the party. I'll give the order number. So if you want to edit it, you can edit this as order number 1. Select the sales ledger. Select the item. So once you select the item, you can see here you will be getting item allocation screen in which it will show you the due date. So like how for bill wise we had the due date within which the party is supposed to clear the invoice value to us. Similarly, you can mention the due date here which you have agreed with your customer within which you are supposed to make the goods delivery, right? So the same date you will be entering here under the due date. For example, I'm supposed to clear the goods within 25th of September. I'll mention the same thing here. I'll enter and accept it. So you can you can select the multiple items also here, or either you can record it for single particular order, single particular item as well. So now I've recorded the sales order. So once I record the sales order, you'll be able to generate the outstanding report. So in order to generate the report, either you can click on this go to option and search for the report, or you can navigate to display more reports. Navigate to statements of inventory. Under statements of inventory, you can see here, since I have activated sales order as well as purchase order vouchers, here you'll be getting the sales order outstanding and purchase order outstanding reports. Just enter on this sales order outstanding report. You'll be able to generate the order outstanding report at the group level or at the stock category level, or for a particular stock item, you can see how many orders are pending, or at the group level or ledger level also you'll be able to extract. If you want to know that for a particular party, how many sales orders you have recorded, you can click on ledger option. Or you can simply click on all orders so that it will display you the list of orders pending as on date. So now currently under this sales order due only, you are not getting any order pending because due date was 25th of September. So what I will do here, I'll just change the period to 30th September. Now you can see here, whatever the sales order that we recorded, it is showing as pending here, right? So against this, once we record the delivery note or receipt, sales invoice, this will be showing as pending here. So using these reports, it will help you to track against the party or for all the orders, how many orders are pending as on date and what actions you're supposed to take so that it will be cleared within the delivery date that you have agreed with your customer so that you will be able to avoid the further penalties, because in certain scenarios there are also penalties in which the client may be imposing when there is a defaulted, when the due date is defaulted, right? So all such scenarios you'll be able to avoid in case if you are continuously tracking the orders. So if the companies who do not have the practice of this order maintenance, it's not required for them. The companies which have the practice of recording the order and then recording the invoice as per the agreement, for such companies, this will be applicable. So since we do have the time constraint, so about the order outstanding, the complete flow will not be able to cover it. So, but just we are showing the indication that even this feature is available so that complete flow of sales order cycle you will be able to manage in Tallyprime. So the last report and important report that we would like to take you through is a negative stock report. So negative stock is nothing but whenever the inwards are lesser than the outwards. For example, for a particular stock item, you have just entered the inward of 100 numbers, but there is an outward entry that you have recorded for more than 100 numbers, right? Either it could be single invoice or multiple invoices. It will show you such stock under negative stock, so that you will be able to take the corrective actions. So negative stock will happen when you are missing out the transactions, you're not recording all the transactions of that particular stock item, right? Or whenever there is a theft or damage that has happened in your godown or batches, you have not recorded those entries in your books of entry, or the actual inventory is not matching with your transaction that you have recorded in the software. In all those scenarios, the stock will turn negative. And also in case if the user is maintaining the godowns or batches feature, whenever there is a mismatch in allocation. So in purchase entry, you have selected one batch, but from the same batch, you are not recording sales, right? Or from the same godown, you are not showing the same thing under sales entry. So there are two different wrong godown selected. All those things will lead to the negative stock. So in Tally, we do have this report readily available so that you will be able to check this and you will be able to apply the necessary corrections required. In order to generate the negative stock report, simply you can click on this display more reports. So from the display more reports, click on this exception reports. Under the exception reports, we have this negative stock, right? Just enter on this. So it will show you the negative stock information as on date. So you can press F12 here. So under the F12, similar to your stock summary, enable this opening balance inwards and outwards so that you'll be able to understand why it is showing as negative. So you can see here notepad for office. So inwards was only 100, but outward is more than inwards. So though we do not have any restriction today to restrict users from entering the quantity, because there might be scenarios that while the goods are in transit by your supplier, you are making a sale of it. So that is the reason we have not given any restriction today, wherein you have the flexibility to record the transaction even though there is a warning message of negative stock, right? But however, still such particular stock items will be listed under this report so that you will be able to apply the correction. Now you can see for this item, there is no inwards or opening balance till date, but you have just recorded the outwards. So you can actually verify the actual inventory movement of this item and you can re-record all those missing transactions or correct the transaction in case if the information is not correct, or by mistakenly you have recorded this sales invoice, you can take a call to delete it. So all those data corrections you'll be able to apply through this negative stock report. So that is a major advantage of this negative stock report. So this will also help you to finalize your inventory balances. So these are the 10 reports that we wanted to discuss in today's session. So in case if you are having any questions, feel free to ask so that we will be able to clarify your questions and then we will close up the session. So I do understand that we have exceeded by 1 hour, but since there were more questions and more participants were there in today's sessions, so we took time to answer all those questions. So the session got exceeded. So sorry for the inconvenience if this has caused inconvenience to any of you. Mr. Yogesh, we do not have the option to unmute the participants for today's session. We'll take up that suggestion. Yeah, Mr. Bharat, whatever the feedback that you're having on the existing features, please feel free to share to our support at the rate of tallysolutions.com. We will analyze those requirements, and if it is already available, we will share those information with you, because we can't complete entire options in one session. In case if those are not available, we will analyze and we'll take it up for our product. Okay, Varsha is asking, can you please tell how to export to Excel? So Varsha, export option is available on every report. You can just click on this Alt option. So if you are already available in the existing screen, you just select the option of current here, right? And you can select the format and you can export it. Okay, Mr. Vikram is asking a question. Can we get any alert note from the system when the stock is turning negative? So Vikram, as I mentioned that for none of the features in Tally, we do have any alert mechanism today, because that requires the deeper analysis, because company to company or user to user, it differs like how they want to configure the alert mechanism. So we are planning to provide it as on the standard formats, but currently we have not yet provided in the product. So as I mentioned earlier, some of you had asked the questions apart from these reports. So tomorrow we do have next session is on accounts and inventory Q&A. So please check out on the website and you will be able to register yourself, so that we will be able to clarify your other accounts and inventory related queries in that session. Okay, one of you had asked the query about movement analysis, and also Mr. Kalyan has asked about products moving faster and all. So quickly, I would like to show you that report. So we have something called as movement analysis in our product. So you can just navigate to display more reports here. So under the display more reports, navigate to statements of inventory. So under the statements of inventory, you have this movement analysis option. The movement analysis report will show you the actual movement of inventory only considering the invoices, while your stock summary will consider all the type of vouchers have been recorded for inventory consumption or delivery, like stock inventory vouchers are also considered there. But under movement analysis option, it will consider only the actual invoices and it will show you the movement. So this will help you to extract what is how many are slow moving items or how many are fast moving items. For example, here I'll just click on this stock group analysis. I'll select primary so that all the items will be listed here. So here you'll be getting inward and outwards, right? So consolidated quantity, you'll get it. I'll click on stock item wise. And here you can click on F12. And for example, you can just enable the outwards. You can disable the inwards here. So currently I'm having all the items with the consolidated outward details for the particular period, right? So here you can press F12. So under the F12, we have given this sorting method option. So under the sorting method here, you can select quantity decreasing, sorry. I'll just press F12 once again. So here I'll mention quantity decreasing. So that here you'll be able to get all the items in a specific quantity. So in case if the units of measures are different, so based on the units of measure, the sorting will be applied. So for example, numbers are starting from this item onwards. So it will show the quantity wise decreasing, so that you'll be able to understand which item is fast moving and which item is slow moving. So if all the stock items are having the common unit of measure, then the sorting will apply here accordingly, and you will be able to extract this information. So this is the current workaround, Mr. Kalyan, that we are having, so that you will be able to uh, take the information from the movement analysis report. Few of you have asked about the session recording. Yes, we are recording this session. So once the session recording is completed, along with the feedback link, we will be sharing this session recording link with all of you. So in case if you have not received, please reach out to our support@tallysolutions.com through email, so that team will be able to share the link with you. I have shared the support email ID with all of you in the chat. So please have a look and make a note of it. So with this, we will be winding up today's session. So for the quick help, I request you to refer all of you to our help site. The exclusive help site is available, help.tallysolutions.com, so that related to product, anything you can go and clarify there. And also our support is available on WhatsApp. So through WhatsApp also you'll be able to